as demand. What do you think about this project? Should we start this? Should we do this? There's no other way. Should we do this? There's no other way. It seems like there's no other way. Then the other person, when the person is listening, since there's no other way, you really say there's no other way, which means you want me to do this way lah. Right? You can work the first time, the second time, the third time, eventually gone. Trust is gone. You understand? So when we say we ask leading question, we really ask leading question. We really request for something without the expectation of being met. That's when you get your needs and their needs satisfied. You achieve respect and collaboration. Then you gain that respect. Why communication here? Whoever you have attended this whole day, why communication is so essential, right? Next week on a Saturday, same thing from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. we will be doing a leadership course. And then a major part of leadership is actually communication. So inside the leadership course, I won't be talking about all these things anymore because this is the basic already. You need to know how to communicate with your guys. You want to start a company, you can't even communicate. How do you be a better leader? Now, from standard 1 to form 5, each and every one of us, we've met leaders. Standard 1, you got your ketua class. Standard 2, you got your ketua class. Is your ketua class is there? Is he a good or bad leader? Same thing for a company. Once you join the company, there's a boss. Is he a good or bad leader? Now, 80% of the people there is a bad leader. That means they don't know how to lead, they don't know how to communicate, they don't use these methods here. They don't know how to use these methods. So sometimes you feel pressured, sometimes you feel you're not respected. That's why part of the major component of leadership course is actually communication. Yeah. Now that you know communication, we can actually replicate. And then as you join the 10 hours training on this alone, what words to pick up to construct sentences, then you have a better understanding then how you can be leaders. Now after attending the leadership itself, or after attending the communication itself, you realize that it is actually replicable. That means you can actually replicate. Take it, put it otherwhere, put it somewhere, you can use it in the same way. Same thing for leadership. Leadership, we want to compare. Let's compare the Western way of leadership, of leaders, and the Eastern way of leader. Chinaman, let's call it the Chinaman way and the Westerners way. Right? And then later we talk about Japanese. The Chinaman way, very simple. Use my method. How to hire or how to find a successor, you work with me for the next 10 years. You gain the experience. Okay? And then I hope and pray that you don't leave the company. That's the Chinaman way of doing things. After you following me for 10 years, learning all my traits, all my secrets, and then on the 9th year, you left. So then I have to find another successor. I have to take another 9 years to find a successor for this Chinaman company. Now compared to Western companies like Coca-Cola, IBM, you take a look at the people going in and out, people coming in and then leaving, right? The amount of people, the head count is higher than the Chinaman company. But then why these big multinational companies can still keep growing and growing is because the Western way of doing things, you have a step-by-step process. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. If you leave, another person will come in and replace you, and then continue step 2, step 3, step 4. What you learn today in communication is basically the same steps of communicating. It's tough, I agree, it's tough. When I learn with my team, it's very, very tough, I'll be honest with you. Up until today, I have not mastered it, but I'm still trying very hard. We are still trying very hard. But same thing for leadership, step-by-step process. We have a lot of tools and tools. The slides available to you, you can just replicate it, you can change it however way you want, and then you add in more stuff as you go along. Leadership course is the same thing. A lot of stuff inside, a lot of tools inside there where you can use. What should you do when you work in a new company, when you're hiring? What should you do? And then once you hired, once you have enough experience, what is your next step? From there on, what is your next step? How to be a better leader? Now, I'm not saying once you use it, you have to use it in a company. To me, it's a complete opposite. Once I learn it, I use it on myself. Why? I don't have to be leading a company. And to be honest, I don't want to lead a company. Right? When I learn about leadership skills like that, once I learn it, I apply it on myself, it becomes internalized. I become a better leader. When people see me, they somehow feel that I'm different, and then they will follow me together. That's why we have this group. Same thing. If you learn this, when your kids look at you, somehow they just feel a bit special. You are a bit special. You are that leader that they want to be, the mentor. Then isn't life easier? Rather than your way. What is your way? Where do you get your methods of doing things? As we know, now you actually know where you get your methods of doing things, your parents. If the method is wrong, you pass down from generation, from your grandparents to your parents to you, and then you don't realize this is a problem, you go and replicate it down to your kids. Your kids is going to be exactly like you, unless you put in the effort to learn this type of thing over time. Right? Most of the time, when people don't learn, eventually they got themselves into that trap, and then they are like the elephant. They say this is life. We have to suffer. This is life. Actually, not. This is not life. Use the Western way of doing things. This is not life. There is proper tools, frameworks, step-by-step process that we can use, that we can do. So I hope that I can see you on Wednesday. You register for this course. So I see you for the next 10 hours. Every Wednesday, 8 to 10, only 2 hours at night, and then we will practice this area. So today, once you go home, you can start practicing this already. For example, once you start driving back, talking to your wife, you can start saying, I noticed that in today's presentation, this person said something like that. I feel a bit shocked. He said something like that because I don't think that is necessary, or I don't think that is appropriate. Start communicating. No? Or like your colleagues, I noticed that after lunch you fell asleep. I feel, start constructing, testing out. I feel, huh?
I feel the same.
I feel the same. This is because, come on, this is because we are
eat the same food.
Maybe we eat the same food. What is the need again? What is the need? I feel big. I feel what? This is because maybe we didn't have enough rest yesterday. So this is how you communicate. The same thing later when we're in the car, it's the same thing. Amanda will start, I noticed that. Slowly you become more and more expert in this. You don't have to start the sentence with I noticed that. Straight we just start with the fact. Right? Now it feels very uneasy, still very concrete. Right? So that's why we have to start this way first. Slowly you get comfortable with it, straight away the fact. Okay? Because right now when you go home, your wife's going to say, something is wrong with you, what did you do today? So she will feel what? What will she feel? What will she feel?
Wonder.
Curious? Wonder? Some more? What else? Surprise? Yes. Yes, then you can state now. Okay? So I hope that I see you next week for leadership course. Same thing, we will be recording. And then if you missed out any points, you know where the video will be posted. So while driving, you all can do some revision and things like that. Okay, guys? Yeah, it's on Zoom on Wednesday. Next Saturday is on leadership course.
How many hours?
Around the same thing, 9 to 9. But then if we finish, because I don't know, actually I don't know how fast we can finish it. So I put 9 to 9. We can finish early. Like today, we're supposed to end at 9, right? It's only 5:30 now. Yeah. So let's just set 9 to 9 first. If it's early, then hey, it's a gift. Okay, guys, thank you all for coming.